Hello, everyone. Welcome to The Four Letter Nerd. It is the VidCast podcast show for nerdy and geeky people. We are presented by Kill the Sun Comics. So we're going to be talking about a few things today. Today's show is going to be all about Toonami and Nickelodeon and the impact they had on American animation and how when Toonami premiered, how it changed the way that American cartoons went. And then we also have one of the creators that we've got signed to Kill the Sun Comics, Mark Fenton, on. We're going to talk about his comic, The Acursed. And with me, as always, I've got Mr. Mayhem Mike.
Hey, what's up? Thanks for having me. I love this. I love the introduction.
Of course, and I got my man's Ness.
Oh, hey, everybody. I was just practicing my poses. I didn't know exactly. Okay, well, anyways. What's up, everybody? How you doing?
It's okay. We see Bebop behind you. We see you trying to get in that move. We got you.
That's amazing.
Of course, we've got the man of the hour, the man we're going to talk to first about his comic that we've got out for you at Kill the Sun Comics. It is Mr. Mark Fenton.
Mr. Fenton.
Right.
Hey, what's up?
I feel bad. I have like the worst background of all of everybody here. I just got the fire.
Hey, you're somewhere important because they're like, hey, this is how you get out in case of fire. That's an important point. All right, so we got everybody here. So the first thing we're going to talk about is Mr. Mark Fenton and his comic, The Acursed. Yeah. So
sweet.
What it is it's this crazy comic that, how do I explain this without giving too much away? It is, how do I do it?
It's everything you love and everything you'd want in a comic. So go buy it.
There's vampires, there's witch hunters, vampire hunters,
harpies,
a nightclub, there's harpies, and
it's amazing.
You gotta read it to see.
Technically, is it a dystopian future? Because technically, it seems like these monsters that are fairy tales are living with humans, but humans have lost all control. And that's just with the first volume. That's the first issue. And then yet we have somebody here, the protagonist, who's able to change it, but obviously people are not willing to work with them. And as well, some people are trying to kill them. So it seems like it's only but a fracture or an event away from things just going straight to pot. Mark, how would you describe it?
Yeah, I mean, it's so when I came up with the concept, my thought was my sister loved Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and I had no interest, and she showed me like the Hush episode, and then I liked that episode a lot, and then but I liked that feel, and I've always liked the Punisher or like an Equalizer. And then, just as you think more about it, and then, my thought was, well, it's this family that's been doing this for years and years and years, and they've been the balance between like the supernatural and humanity. And, with that being the case, you would think that there's got to be some of the supernatural people that are content with it. They're like, whatever, I live a good life. Well, I'm doing what I want to do. I'm not doing anything to interfere that would draw these people to my attention. But then there's also some that are just like, screw that. Like, I'm not going to have, these people telling me, that I need to be in check. And so, like the concept just kind of rolled from that. And then I really wanted cool looking supernatural creatures. And so, I hooked up with David, and he's an artist. He's based in France. And I was like, I want to open, with this harpy creature, but it's got to look cool as hell, and it's got to, look different than other stuff that we've seen, and we really focused on kind of like, we really wanted it to be like a movie. So, we worked together on the angles and different, shots in the comic on, points of view and things like that, and so. And I'm getting off track, sorry, but it's just, we really wanted it to be a fun book. We wanted it to be, nonstop. We just wanted it to keep going. It's this nonstop action. And I guess so, like for the viewers, it's essentially, this family line has continued to be the balancer, the equalizer, and it's always the female, the firstborn female in the family. And so once that female gets to 18, puberty, then they pick up some additional powers, some extra stuff to themselves. They get the soul sword, which kind of develops with them, and it gets stronger as they pick up their powers. And we were thinking that these creatures are going to do something to try to stop this, and the family stays pretty well guarded. There's always somebody to help the female character, but we thought about, well, what if we brought in a hedge witch, and we did research on hedge witches, and we were like, this hedge witch can kind of see different things in different universes. So kind of like, your Doctor Strange multiverse, she can jump through things and she can see things. Right. And so her idea is, I'm going to catch this, person before they gain their powers, and I'm going to do something to prevent them from ever getting their powers. And that's how I'm going to end this line. I'm going to make this person be stuck at a certain age, before they get their powers, and then I can do whatever I want to them. It ends the line, and essentially, we can take over. We can do whatever the hell we want at this point. So we follow that story of this girl that's been cursed, and she's trying to break the spell. So she has to, essentially, she's looking for the hedge witch. Yeah. And as we go through it, she kind of has to meet different supernatural characters. So we meet vampires who run a nightclub, and their thought is that we don't have to suck your blood. We can steal your life essence through other means, like by your gambling. You can if you're going to the strip club or whatever, we can still pull away on your life essence through these other means, and we're getting rich while we do it. So we're content. We don't care that this lady's out there trying to be a balance on the supernatural stuff, because we're making our money. We're getting what we need. We're good to go. And so that's really in the story is you see these different sides of some of these creatures are content, and they learn to live and that they've adapted, and they found that they're happy like this, while other ones are kind of they've had enough. They've been in the shadows long enough. It's time to kind of revolt.
So what I loved about it was, first of all, this mystical soul sword. You have a great nightclub called the Sundowners, which is amazing. The great Mononoke framework. I like that fun. Right, and I'm not gonna go too much. I don't want to spoil it, but the interaction between the head honcho, especially as a cowboy,
I know, right?
It's like you didn't expect that. Why a cowboy? If I would be so bold, it kind of reminds me of From Dusk Till Dawn, that kind of aesthetic.
Yeah,
I love that. But the soul sword, I think you need to maybe not here, but I can't wait for you to expand on that. Definitely, because what I want you to do is offer like the complete value and a soul sword with it. Like I think that'd be amazing.
Yeah, I mean, and I hope that I hope people really follow through. It's only a 4-issue mini, so it's not a ton. It's open, so we can still do stuff after that. But issue 2, not to give away a lot, but we go back in time and we kind of see what the parents, how they handled it and what they did, and we kind of see the family aspect of it. Because this girl has a brother, and essentially he's the guardian until if she married or whatever, and we kind of see like his thoughts and how he kind of feels like hey, this sucks because I can't ever do this. I've always just got to be like the watcher, the handler, whatever type of stuff. So we look at a lot of family aspect stuff, but we try to keep the story moving so that there's there's always some kind of action. There's always something going on. There's always something some kind of eye candy, something cool that's down the road. And David has been the best to work with, and he's got a really good sense of humor, and he came up with the van, like, because that's their transportation, and he's just he's been the best. So I couldn't have asked for a better collaborator.
Just gonna shout him out real quick, David, and I wanted to call him Mad Dog. Is that correct?
Yes.
Can I see? Did I say his last name correct? I hope I didn't butcher his name.
I've never I don't know. I've never asked him, but I think it's like Kamskasi or Kamskasi.
Okay, Mr. C.
It's French. Yeah, I don't know.
And then Hector Negrete, I believe I said that correctly. Amazing. What I wanted to know particularly is because you've literally created a world, and you've given us just enough, even just a preview, to kind of build a whole universe. Are you going to continue afterwards, or is this it for this universe?
No, I mean that's the hope. Like you always want to be able to tell more stories and build on stuff, and I hope that that Kill the Sun keeps us around and we can expand on it, because there's definitely I mean, we could just from the first issue, we could look at some of the people from there, and you could do, like a one shot just based on Sundowners, like a day at Sundowners, and kind of see, what happens there and what they do. So, but there's definitely some big stuff coming. Issue 3, issue 4. You're going to see some really, really big monsters, some really, cool stuff. And we're everything's open in this book. Like there's no we did a lot of research on mythology. We looked at different types of monsters from different countries, and so anything is game. Like you may see stuff that you'd have to look up because you're like, well, what the hell is this thing? And so it's going to be fun. And I really like David's style. He's got a kind of cartoony style. And the book is black and white just because I liked it. I liked the look of it. And I was like, we haven't really had like a really good black and white book, since Turtles. And, You Promised Me Darkness did really well last year as a black and white book. So, and I think, he could do it in color. One of the other reasons we didn't was because he had to have hand surgery right after he finished issue 1. And so we didn't know what it was going to look like. But, the dude is back and he's a camper. He's a trooper. He cracks me up sometimes because I asked him, I was like, we got to have a boat in one of the issues. And he was like, well, what kind of boat? And I'm like, it's just a smaller, boat. And he was like, well, I need to know because I got to go buy the model because I have to look at this stuff to be able to draw it out and get the details and everything right. And I'm like, dude, it's a sailboat. It's not that, it's not that big of a deal. It's not, it's not going to be a main character type thing. But, I love it. I love that he's that into it and he wants it to be that good. So it sounds amazing. It sounds like you run a really good team. Of course, we want to keep you here. Of course, we'll look at the future things. I mean, A Day in Sundowners is an amazing title. It's an amazing. Come on, it's right. I'm ready for that. Can we talk about without ruining the surprise of Adrift? And where did you get that concept from? Sure. So Adrift is the second book that we're doing at Kill the Sun, and Adrift was just like. The best way to describe it is Fantasy Island meets Hostel. So it's, we have another strong female character, lead character. This girl crashes on an island, doesn't really have her wits about her. It looks like a deserted island. And as she kind of goes to discover things, things happen. She gets like abducted, and as she's being held, she kind of sees what's really happening at this island, and we learn about this other society and this other group of people that kind of put themselves above everybody else, and they don't see people below them as like, they're equals or even people. They're just like, what, these are just like pawns that we can do, whatever we want with. And so I think this book too we try to keep it moving pretty well, and there's a lot of cool characters, and this one Adrift Jacob is the main artist, and he's in Mexico. He's actually a professor at one of the universities down there for art, and he's done some work for DC. He did like Blue Beetle, I think, and The Flash before. So, and he's super easy to work with. He's super nice. He really contributes like David. Like if I put something out there and they'll be like, I can't draw that, man. I don't know. It's cool that you think that would work, right, but that can't be drawn. Or they kind of reel me back in if there's something that I think this would look super cool, and they're like, yeah, it probably would look cool, but that ain't gonna happen because there's no way that can be but that can be put on paper. But I think Adrift is good. I think people will like it. It's just got kind of not like a big mystery feel, but it's got like a little bit of mystery suspense, like you're not sure, what to expect, and it's got, a lot of storylines running through it. So there's, the girl, then there's, what's happening on the island, and then there's, other people that are coming to the island, and I think it's a fun ride. I hope people like it, and we'll see, I guess.
I think one of the big things about this comic that I enjoy is like, first of all, the first one was black and white, and I thought that it was amazing drawn. And then this one, as color, kind of like emphasizes a little bit more emotion for me and on
Sure.
character building. It's the first issue, obviously. I'm not gonna go into too much into it, but obviously, like you said, she's adrift. And there's way more people. I'll say a society there, and they're up to heinous
Yeah.
things. And especially how it ends is just like, what's gonna happen next, and how does that relate to a previous meeting? So you have a thing for
Yeah.
suspense. You're like our suspense writer, obviously.
I mean, I want to, because I've read, so many comics, so many books, seen so many movies and stuff like that, and it's like, you never, and it's tough. Like first issues are always the hardest ones to, because you've got to hook people, but you've got to get them up to speed as to where that story is. So, you've got to lay down some backstory, and you've got to, get people to where they need to be to understand these characters and what they're going through. And so, your fear is always that, I'm going to write this, first issue, and it's, it's not going to hook people because it's kind of slow rolling to get to, the point that we need to be. So that's why, like in the Acursed, we tried to open like right now, like this is what's happening right now, and then kind of reel you in as to, how we got to that point by who we're talking to and where we're going and the conversations between the two people, and like with Adrift, you get that from the main character doesn't really know what's going on, so you don't really get a lot from her, just that how she got there and
Right.
What she knows or what she sees, but you kind of learn from the people that work there and the people that we meet that show up at the island, and we kind of see why they're there and what they're up to.
Mark, without giving too much away, I want to move forward and ask you what made you pick up the comics and say, this is what I want to do. I want to make comics. I want to build my own stories. Why not a short story? You know what I'm saying? Why not be a writer?
So it's funny because I'm a creative writing grad from Full Sail University, and I've written screenplays. I've worked on video games. I've written spec scripts. I've written short stories. But comics to me, just because A, I grew up on them, and B, it's just I love that the visual aspect of the art, and then the storytelling that you can do as well. And I love the collaboration piece. Like I love finding an artist that I really like what they do. Because then I can get cool shit drawn, and I can be like, hey, I'd like to see, how you draw this or how you do that. And it's fun, and it's just, it's nice to see that stuff. So, growing up on comics, and I've met so many creators over the years and become friends with them and talk to them about, stuff they're working on and stuff I'm working on. And it's, they're like the best people to hang out with and bounce ideas off from, because, they're doing the same thing. They have that same love for comics and what you're doing.
Okay, so this is my last question, because I've been hogging all your time, and and I know that you guys want to talk. To help our viewers get a sense of who you are and what to expect from you, even though that's not necessarily what's going to happen, who is your biggest inspiration for your comics?
So I would say art-wise, like I always love Chris Bachalo.
Okay.
So if you probably know him from X-Men, the Age of Apocalypse stuff. He's got that really cartoony kind of feel. So Bachalo is always my number one art guy, and I always loved his style. And then for writing, like I'm a big fan of Hickman more recently, and I've actually gotten to meet him and talk to him, which was super nice. He's a super nice dude. So Jonathan Hickman writing wise, and Marv Wolfman, because Wolfman he started with the horror stuff, and he was doing like Tomb of Dracula, and he was doing Blade, and then he moved over to the Teen Titans, and just like for me, like that was the book when I was growing up that I always wanted to catch every issue, because it was just this group of teens, and you see what they're dealing with on a daily basis in their life, as well as seeing them take on these other super beings and stuff like that. So I think those would be it.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you so much for answering my questions. Reggie, I
I mean, I was just gonna let you run away. You just coming with the questions and
I was watching.
and I'm like,
I was
no,
watching.
I'm gonna just let Mayhem take this. So I was just letting
So
you.
it was good.
You got
It's good TV.
curiosity, and you needed it stated. So I was just letting
You answered my questions.
Listen, we're in the presence of a great writer and who has a great team.
Hey, thanks.
No problem. No, thank you for the classics that you've given us in the art, because I think a lot of people sleep on comics. Comics is a big thing now. In Marvel, DC, or subtract. Well, maybe not so DC, but they're working on it. There's always a jab. There's always a jab. I'm sorry. There's always a jab.
already.
All right, not live action, okay,
Yeah.
but what we appreciate is relativity. Comic book writers, artists, we appreciate those that relate to us. And Mark, you sound like a very relatable guy. You sound like
I try. Yeah.
You were like my friend I called over and I used to watch WV and watch Buffy the Vampire Slayer with.
And he's like, I can write something better. Watch me write something better. Watch this.
And it sounds amazing. It's an honor to have you. So really quickly, Mark, can you tell us where can we find you, and also where can we support you? Where can we get a copy ourselves?
So right now everything is through Kill the Sun. So tell your shops or order yourself from Kill the Sun website. And I know that they've got shirts, they've got other stuff too, which is cool. But definitely you can get your copies through there. I'll be at the Colorado Springs show with Kill the Sun, and then I'll be at, I think I'm at Phoenix in 2 weeks, the Phoenix Comic Con, and then I'm not sure, but I do have a website. So if you go to markfenton.net, I post everything up there, what I'm working on, stuff like that. I do featured background and stand-in acting too, when I have time, just because I'm friends with directors and stuff like that. So I post that stuff up there too. Like if I work on a certain show or something like that, I'll post stuff up there. Once the shows air, I'll post kind of like behind the scene pictures, stuff like that, if I could take them.
Okay. So definitely markfenton.net. We can also go to killthesun.org. It's amazing, obviously.
Yeah, definitely Kill the Sun, and I believe Adrift will be up there Friday. So
hopefully we get you back on again. Stay on.
Yeah, for sure.
Because we're gonna move forward, definitely. Unless you guys have any more questions that maybe I talked over.
I mean, how can I?
I just
bruh.
I promise to be quiet this time.
I bet.
I mean, you can be. But
I got a ticket.
You don't have to be, but we need
I
everybody.
think I'm number 2 or 3.
Because we're getting ready to do this, and we're gonna.
That just went past me.
Yeah, Eddie, what were you gonna say?
Nothing. Actually, it reminded me. Your comic reminded me a lot of a TV show, Fringe. If you're familiar with that TV show.
Yep.
Second season, I want to say it might have been third. Protagonist starts out with an SUV, smashes through the window, rolls onto the street, and like, what the flip? That was tight. What happens next? So that grip helped me out with this comic. That's what brought me back to those hooks. And even at the end, just literally got hooked by, well, I won't say, but seriously, no, I really enjoyed it. I was just telling the guys prior to the show, it was like watching a TV show, but in comic mode and frame for frame, like you were just aiming for it. You got it. That you got that eye. You guys got that. You hit it right and nail. Boom. And I was like, dude, this reads like a movie or like a little comic, a TV show that I was watching or something.
Sweet.
I enjoyed all the characters. I was starting to cast even the characters in there, like the brother. I was running him as Paul Rudd. He can play that guy. That one chick from Mystic Quest. I forgot her name, but no, she could play that guy. Tiny Tina. That voice is Tiny Tina. That gal could be that gal. She has that rough, that serious, like that little spunk. And automatically just came out when I was just reading about her. And I was like, oh, that's perfect. But aside from that, no, I was pretty pumped by this one. This one was
awesome.
A nice one.
Thanks. Yeah, we definitely, like I said, we tried to change some of the. And it was more just like perception stuff. And it was like, I would tell him, the angle should be, close on, whatever. If there's something on the ground here, we want to see that up close. And then kind of, the other stuff's kind of like moving away from us. And David was, super good with it. Like I said, he's a super easy guy to work with. He's funny. He's pretty good about turning stuff around pretty quick. The only problem is when you work with someone like that, it's like, I'll send him something, and then I'll go to bed, and and then in the morning there'll be something from him because the time change, and then next, so we're kind of we get that kind of delay, but what can you do? But it's kind of funny, the same thing. It's like, okay, let me send this, go to bed, wake up in the morning, oh yeah, there's this one, okay, here's the next one. So
yeah, I could also just point out and appreciate the angles you were getting for your specific shots. It was almost literally like you could have put notes like this camera shot from below, pan up, or it almost felt for me for that technique. Like it was just like storyboard, boom, 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 boom. Yeah, man, I can keep talking
awesome.
about it, but go for it, Rod. You next, man. You're number 3.
I'm just gonna keep mine short because y'all got all the questions, you got all the stuff out, so I'm gonna keep mine short. But my favorite scene in the comic, I'm sorry, it has to be with the Soul Sword and
we need a Soul Sword. We need a prop.
Shortcomings, because I was reading, I'm like, oh, she's gonna put, and I looked at it, I was like, wait, is she a hobbit? Because that doesn't.
Right.
Okay, well, maybe there's something else going on. Let me see what's going on. And I was like, oh, well, if that's what's going on, then you probably shouldn't pull that on anybody or because they're all gonna laugh. I'm like, put that away. Just put it away. Save yourself. Put it away. It's okay. Yeah, that was my favorite scene, and yeah, I was just like, okay, yeah, I see where we're going with this. Yes. All right,
nobody liked the fart joke, huh?
You know what? Okay, if I'm going to be honest, I thought he purposely did that at first because he was hiding a weapon and didn't want to shoot it. So he farted on the elevator.
Oh, that was yes.
And
I'm like, he's hiding something. Yes.
Right.
I was like, oh, he's got to get everybody out.
So there's a lot of elevators in my facility. So I even chuckled pretty good just because I was the last one in the elevator. Whoop, walked right out, and then a little family comes on in. Oh, I'm like, oh, are they cleaning something? I don't know. They must have dropped something in the elevator. Gosh, and then the elevator door closes, and I'm just like,
oh no.
Well, I mean, I probably shouldn't have eaten before I got into the elevator, but whatever, it was a good chili dog.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh!
Been there, done that.
So yeah, we tried to have something for everybody in the book, so yeah, we threw a fart joke in there.
Very relatable.
We'll make sure that whenever you enter the elevator, you go by yourself. For now.
Hey, thanks. I need the space.
Let's go by himself. Nobody follow Ness into the elevator. All right. So with that, we're gonna move on to our secondary topic of the day, and it's just something that is really important to me, and this is. Granted, I knew about most of the stuff that they were doing with this beforehand, but this is how it became popular in America. And where is my...
Show us the graphic.
Okay, hold on. I'm learning these things. We got new stuff, and I'm learning. Here we go. I got this.
Well, meanwhile, Ness is showing us his Cowboy Bebop, which is amazing. Which is Spike Spiegel. We got Faye Valentine. We got Jet Black.
All right, so boom. There we go. Right here. Because when this aired and it first came out, it was revolutionary, and you had to do this. So, like, this is where it was at. Like, it was Toonami, and when it came out, it just blew your mind, and you're like, okay, what is this? And it was like, it's the anime that was super big in Japan that people may or may not have heard of, and it was like, we're gonna show this on American TV back to back to back to back, and everybody's like, ooh, let me see this. And I was like, cool, I can finally watch the anime that I've been watching piecemeal, because back in the day, anime was not as widespread as it is now.
Yeah.
Because going to Blockbuster, going to Hollywood Video, you better pray they had the next volume of what you were looking for, because if they didn't, you were stuck. You're like, cool, I don't want to wait for them to have it. I'm going to order it. I hope you got $30 to $40 per DVD for 4 episodes. I'm sorry, VHS.
That's
Sorry.
right. We had a whole
It was
bunch of
VHS,
VHSs. Yes.
And bruh, and they started with the big dog. It's like boom, we're coming in with with Dragon Ball Z, and that's how it's gonna be. And I was like, all right, cool, I'm with it. Let's do this. And so, to me, it was just one of those ones where it allowed me to show my friends what I was talking about. When it was like, hey, this is what I'm talking about. This is that anime that I'm talking about. So.
Watching cartoons, bro.
You're
what
cartoons
is that?
Exactly, cartoons.
Serious cartoons.
Kids. I'm like, bro,
Man, that's for kids.
No, it's
I'll
not.
take you back a step further, right? I'll take you one step further.
Take me back.
So we had Dragon Ball Z. I believe it was on UPN9 is one of the first networks, at least on the East Coast where I'm at, it debuted at, right? And it's funny because it'd be like, we'll be right back, and he throws a spirit bomb, and all that other stuff, right? Goku would do that. But anime did not fully take off until Toonami showed up, because the only time we can actually watch anime was on HBO, and that's where I saw my first anime movie. Hold up, by Studio Ghibli, Princess Mononoke. Okay, Princess Mononoke. Probably for that
was a good
time.
movie.
I mean, come on. The only thing that rivaled that obviously was Akira, but Princess Mononoke blew my mind, and it was such a grounded and great story. But it was only on HBO, and unless you had the free box, you had to pay for it.
That was
the little button in the
second
back.
room.
In the second room, allegedly, we don't know. So when we talked about Toonami coming out, and they showed all these great shows on Dragon Ball Z, Outlaw Star, Samurai X, Rurouni Kenshin, Yu Yu Hakusho, and it was just like, what is this? And everybody's favorite Gundam. It was amazing.
Gundam.
I'm old, so when Toonami came out, I was like, what? This show's on at 2:00 in the morning? What?
Yes. Adult Swim, all that good stuff, yeah.
But it's funny that you guys are covering this, because I was traveling last week, and I was in a hotel room, and Toonami came on, and for me, the memories of that were we would go to conventions, and Saturday night we'd go back to the hotel room, and we would watch this stuff because we were wired from the show. We'd eaten pizza, whatever. Playing board games in the room, and then Toonami would come on, and you would just watch it because it's late at night. There's nothing else on. You're a nerd or a geek. You're like, oh, cool. There's some cool stuff. But it's funny because I didn't know a lot of that. For me, when I was watching similar stuff, it was Battle of the Planets. That was a big one for me. G-Force. But then the Toonami now, I love Lupin. So when that came on, I was like, oh man, I love Lupin the Third. And then it looked like they moved Primal to Toonami, which was kind of weird to me, but I liked Primal. I love the show. But it was cool to see it again. I had no idea that it was still going.
So I want to kind of go over all the things that Toonami and particularly Nickelodeon had an impact on. Reggie, let's get my slideshow ready. Let's get it. Because we're down one person here, and she was going to talk a little bit more about it. I'm going to briefly touch upon it. She'll definitely talk about it another time. Let me know when you're ready, Reggie. In the meantime, did you see that mask? Did you see that mask in the background? Did you see that amazing mask? And I got a new Funko Pop. I'm going to do this. All right. I'm sorry. That's it. No. All right. So when it comes to Toonami, beforehand, we were watching all these kid-friendly shows.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? I'm going to take you back, and hopefully we can watch all these kid-friendly shows. Let's go into the next slide. Hopefully it's what I think it is. Come on. No whammy, no whammy, no whammy. Okay, that's the ship. Okay. No whammy, whammy.
Yes! G-Force! Yes!
Okay, before we move on, what people don't recognize is in the anime and also in the original episodes, that was Japanese, as well as the manga, it was a lot more hardcore.
Yes.
Than it was actually viewed on air. People died. You know what I'm saying?
It's an anime. People are gonna die, man.
But the last couple of episodes on G-Force that I remember airing on Toonami, I think the third one, I forgot his name, the one with the red, he got shot. And I was
Jason?
I believe so.
Yes.
I was like, Jason. Oh, somebody used his name. Jason got shot. That's a thing. That can happen. You know.
Wait, they don't pass out. They don't. Oh, I don't feel good. Oh, they're out for 3 episodes. All right, we're back. Let's get to it.
No, shot and killed, and they were mourning. And I was like, what happens next? And it never came back because I guess it got too crazy. I would say too gruesome.
I think what happened is that they probably lost the rights because I watched a lot of YouTube about the geeky stuff like this and the shows that I watched growing up. Mm-hmm. Because there's a reason that this show has 3 names because it's Gatchaman, the OG name, G-Force, and Battle of the Planets. Now, G-Force and Battle of the Planets, 2 different companies had the rights to this show at the same time. That's why you got G-Force and Battle of the Planets. So one company had it, it ran for a while, they lost it, and then it became the other one. And they said, hey, they showed those episodes. We're not going to show those episodes so nobody gets confused with our show. We're going to pick it up right here and run from there. So that's more than likely what happened with that is one company had it, they lost their rights. The other company picked up the rights, ran with it, and said, we're not showing what they showed. We're going to start from here and go from there.
Okay. All right, let's go on to the next slide then.
All right, next slide.
More G-Force. So obviously the originators, Dragon Ball Z, and I think I got like 2 or 3 photos of this. So with let's move forward with Dragon Ball Z. Like, my
you gave me one. You only gave me one. You slipping.
Oh my goodness. So I think everybody came on with Dragon Ball Z. How many? 30 episodes waiting for him to turn Super Saiyan and fight Frieza. What? Akira Toriyama, Cartoon Network, why you do this to me? I don't care about Krillin and Gohan. I need to see Goku turn Super Saiyan, slap him up a bit, and let's actually have that battle. And it's funny because going forward, I never realized how weak he was at that point. Goku was just like sunning so many people at that point. It was amazing. What did you guys think about Dragon Ball Z real quick before we move on?
Well, it's the OG. It's Dragon Ball Z. Yeah. And granted, when it was aired here, it was edited. And I would tell my friends, oh, no, people die in this all the time. And they're like, I don't believe you. And then it started airing and they're watching it. It's like, no one's died. And I'm like, well, you see that dark hole that's really, really black and the guy just falls over and knocked out? Yeah, he's not knocked out. And that's not a black hole where he's been burned at all. And so
for me, sorry, man. It was a lot of a lot of that screaming.
Power up,
Always the power ups. We always wanted to wait for that. The Spirit Bomb stuff. My bro and I, we used to watch this all the time. We try to catch up every weekend. Even today, we even catch up with shows that we were watching. But that was like one of the starts, one of our shows together that we used to watch together to what's happening next, or what's Goku doing? Oh, Vegeta, oh man, here he comes. He's gonna do some shit. And then here comes Goku. He beat him. Well, whatever. Let's see the next episode. It was a fun series. I
don't know if you can hear it in the background, but my little daughter is powering up as we speak.
Yeah.
That's what the Super Saiyan. All right, let's move forward then. Let's go on to the next one, which everybody knows, Johnny Quest.
This is that new one that they did back in the day.
I'm still going to use it to reference it because I couldn't really find a good quality picture of Johnny Quest. Obviously, they can't bring this up right now due to the conscious movement of cartoons and just the movement of everybody all day, because Haji would create all types of problems. And just a situation. But for what it was worth at the time, it was an amazing show. Johnny Quest was kind of like James Bond Jr., if you remember.
Yes.
Okay? Like, everybody wanted to be the cool kid who had access to all these gadgets and a cool family to an extent. And Johnny Quest kind of did that. I can't show too many things from it because I saw a lot of copyright, and I was like, I don't want to get flagged. So I decided to put this. If you know, especially on Toonami, when they had the 3D in their introduction, that had me hyped.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Yeah. I'm sorry, the best ads for Toonami were the ones done by Peter Cullen, aka Optimus Prime. I don't care what nobody says. They were good until they got Peter Cullen doing those intros and the outros and the ads. It wasn't fire. It's like, you got Optimus Prime, Dragon Ball Z. It's like, I'm here now, Optimus Prime, talk about Dragon Ball Z, my brain.
Next on Dragon Ball Z.
Let's move forward. God, I can't believe it.
Oh,
Okay.
This is that show. This is that
That's
show.
my show.
If you don't know what reboot is, I need for you to stop what you're doing. Okay? I need you to open up a new window and look it up and find allegedly somebody who provides it with YouTube legally. I'm gonna do that. Because this was an amazing show. Enzo, oh my god. I mean, when he came back, Enzo being the kid over to the left, when he came back and he was grown. Oh, Mark, do you remember Reboot by any chance? Or did this pass you by?
No, I was going to tell you, I'll be right back. I got to go open up another window and see what this is because I have no idea what. I saw that and I was like, reboot. I was like, I don't know.
So, literally, this takes place inside of a computer. And these sprites, I'm going to say sprites, are, in a sense, fighting for their lives where they have to interact with a game, win the game, so that way they can live.
So it's like Tron?
Yes.
And by winning the game, they have to defeat the user, a.k.a. us.
Yes.
Mm.
It gets so deep, and it seems it's fun, it's bright, and then all of a sudden it turns dark.
Dude,
It was
season 2, my goodness. Hexadecimal, my
yes,
goodness.
yes. But
Yup.
see, we love these Saturday, because this was when it generally aired, these Saturday and or weekday cartoons. I don't remember how long it was on Cartoon Network, but it wasn't on for that long. But it made its impact. But this animation style was amazing. It's too bad we didn't get much more of it. I guess they had a thing on it. They had a patent. It's like, no, we'll sue everybody else. Eddie, you remember this?
I remember having him, the main antagonist. I used to put him in my Batmobile and then ride him around and down the hallway and have him fight. I don't know, Marshmallow Man at the same time. It was dope because I always wanted to watch this when I wanted to catch it. It's almost like the same time when you wanted to catch The Simpsons, but then like Seinfeld popped on or a different show popped on. But I didn't know about time and concept at the time. I just knew the TV show was on. I was like, boom, reboot. All right, I'm on that. It was just the CG to it brought all that kind of attention to me. And it's just relatable just because of all the tech and all the
games
and the games. So yeah, it was a fun one. I really enjoyed this one.
All right, let's move forward because man, this is memory lane for me. And you guys are just like, this was a good time. Oh my god. Powerpuff Girls.
Show. Bruh, not gonna lie. I was a young man in my teens and 20s watching a show about 3 little girls, formerly known as the Whoop-Ass Girls, which is the whole reason I watched it. I'm like, yo, did they just put on a show called the Whoop-Ass Girls? Like, what is this about? They're like, yeah, this is the cartoon. They might become new shows. Dude, literally 2 months later, the Powerpuff Girls. And I was like, yo, it's the Whoop-Ass Girls. Let's go. And
so, Ged, if you scroll over to the next one, you can actually see the characters. There should be one more slide. So you can see all the characters that they're talking about, besides those 3. There you go. Boom. So we had Buttercup, Blossom, and Bubbles, obviously, in different orders. You had the Rowdy Rough Boys to the right, the Gang Green Gang, all that good stuff. And it's an amazing cast. Gennady Tartakovsky, amazing. He did more than one show, and this is just one of his iconic ones. Dexter the Laboratory, Samurai Jack, as we talked about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, yes. He did the Star Wars. He did the Clone Wars, that shorts. Yeah, those were good.
That was my favorite version of that. Actually, that's what I was talking about last week on the show. Was the not Star Wars, the Clone Wars, just Star Wars Clone Wars. Because the Gennady Tartakovsky skits and shorts and show, it was like, bro, I have it on DVD because, like, I do enjoy the new The Clone Wars, but Clone Wars, Gennady Tartakovsky, he could do no wrong with whatever he put on Cartoon Network.
We need to get him on the show. That's what we need to do.
There we go. Dude, I wouldn't let y'all talk. What? That wouldn't be fair.
Can we go to the next one? Because I think Mark knows this one, and I want to hear him talk about this one.
Can
we get
Sailor Moon? I was not a Sailor Moon fan. Sorry.
What?
No. I don't know. It didn't draw me in, I guess. Like, I mean, I never gave it a chance, so I'll say that. Like, I'll admit I never gave it a chance. But I don't know. Like, it didn't draw me. There wasn't anything to draw me in, I guess. And it's funny because I like strong female leads. I like strong female characters, but I don't know. It was just there wasn't, there was nothing there that drew me in, I guess.
I mean, Tuxedo Mask. He barely did anything, and we loved him for it. Okay, he came in and went out. I think we got 2 more slides, and then it's nothing but the Sailor Moon warriors and whatnot. You got Venus, Mercury, Mars, Jupiter.
The cousins.
Allegedly, I don't know the full story. I'm not gonna even try.
Well,
but apparently she's stronger than Goku.
I mean,
Oh snap!
So
which Goku? That you always got to say which Goku. Granted, I'm not one of those Goku guys who are like Goku can beat everybody. I know Goku's limits. I understand that.
Now we had a great time. You can continue going through. That's Robotech, and I'll shout out the names. But we started from Care Bears. We started from like G.I. Joe. We started from He-Man and She-Ra and all these other My Little Ponies to an extent. Like we had all these great things, and here comes Toonami, who introduced Batman, the animated series, who introduced Teenage Mutant Turtles to an extent. We had all, and the tone for family shows got darker. Even Nickelodeon followed suit with Are You Afraid of the Dark? If you guys remember that. That was obviously the rival Goosebumps was showed on Fox 5, at least on my side, which was killing it, And it's funny, too, because I fully believe Are You Afraid of the Dark was scarier than Goosebumps. At least the later works. That's what I felt. And we went from, like, these wholesome shows to, like, these character developments. And it actually kind of relates to a certain writer that we have, Mr. Mark Fenton, who we had to build characters and make them more relatable, and we loved it. Mark, if you could tell me a great character show that you love from Toonami.
So from Toonami, like for me, it's more the newer stuff. So like I love Lupin. And one of my friends, like I'd never seen it before, and one of my friends introduced me to the movie, and it was funny. I can't really name the movie, but it was funny because I played that game Cliffhangers. I don't know if you remember the video game, like the cartoon game, where you had to choose like to jump or move or left or right. There was Space Ace, Cliffhangers, and then Dragon's Lair. Yeah. So Cliffhangers was the movie, the Lupin the Third movie, where it was like the castle of something. Yes. So the game was based on that. And that game was just the coolest thing to me because it was like you opened the running out of this casino with bags of money and the money's flying out, and then you see the mobsters running behind them, and they jump in like this little Fiat, and he's trying to drive the car like this, and he's tight in there, and the dude with the beard is next to him, and then, he's jumping out, he's trying to shoot these people, and as you move through the story, there's ninjas in there, like these zombie ninjas, and you're driving through the sewers, and there's a helicopter coming behind you shooting at you, and all of a sudden this samurai comes out of nowhere with his sword and soars through, and it's like they freeze it so you see the helicopter, and then the blades fall off the helicopter and it like just drops. And I was like, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life. And then to watch the movie, that was like really cool too. So like Toonami, I've liked a lot on Toonami, but to see Lupin on there, and when I watched it this last weekend, I was like, that's the coolest thing for me because I love that character and I love those stories and how they kind of, he's slick with the stuff he does, and just that there's so many characters and so many things happening. That's it for me, man. I love Lupin.
So Mia also said Strawberry Shortcake and Smurfs. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness! I hated those shows. I didn't hate them because they were bad, but I hated watching them because you had to wait until the other shows came. Even the Snorks.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness! We have
don't be that guy, dude. No, see, actually, I can't talk because granted, cartoons did start off as literally 30-minute cartoons or 30-minute commercials. That's literally what they were. The toy companies are like, hey. We need to sell this product. How are we going to do it?
Yes.
Well, we got cartoons. We can use the cartoon. Well, the government says it's got to be educational. Dude, throw a skit at the back of it. Teach the kids something. Boom, educational. We're going to sell these like hotcakes. Dude.
Don't do drugs, kids.
My top 3 from back in the day, Transformers, Turtles, G.I. Joe.
Yep.
Half-hour commercials. Boom, look at this. Oh, it's a new character. Oh, new character means there's a new toy. Gotta go get the new toy.
And you would find out about the new characters sometimes beforehand. It still continues to this day. That's how people are able to tell what's going to happen in certain movies if is the toy line. Because the toy line introduced new characters. And I'm just like, this doesn't make sense. Although the wolf character from Beast Wars, I definitely have one somewhere.
You got Silverbolt somewhere?
I think so. I don't even remember his name. It's been so long. Oh my God, Eddie, tell me your favorite. Tell me your favorite show on Toonami.
So, my favorite, because of Toonami, I mean, this is what I ended up enjoying anime the entire time. Cowboy Bebop.
Cowboy Bebop.
I remember seeing Cowboy Bebop on Toonami for me, and that was basically the opening to anime for me. Aside from Pokemon and all the Saturday morning cartoons, it was just an adult version of a TV show, but animated. Like it was legit. Deep characters, backstories, flashbacks. I mean, and then just the humor to it was excellent. It hit every little check mark as far as what I enjoyed in shows or in movies.
Did you like the Netflix series or no?
I saw the first episode and I kind of I remember that. They're going this way. Okay, they're doing that. Oh, I get that now. But wait, but wasn't that? Oh, that's fine. Okay, they're doing fighting. What happened? So I was a little. I enjoyed it. The character joshing between the characters, I really enjoyed. Everything else, it had every little ingredient to Bebop. The ship was gorgeous. Yeah, I want to say the Bebop was gorgeous.
It sounds like you're talking about a kid. It's like, is my kid cute? And he's like, what? It has a nice sweater on. Like,
it's got a sword. That's dope. I like that toy. Let me get that. But I was surprised how they had to cancel it so soon. They just gave it a run, at least a little bit of breathing room for it. And yeah, that was nutsies. They nailed Ein really well. Like, it was a perfect corgi, man. I really enjoyed that.
Well, he's a little dog, so there's that.
Yeah, I'm trying to get one.
Has Netflix actually killed it when it comes to a live adaptation of an anime? I don't think so.
I don't know how they do their statistic stuff. I don't know how soon do they get it. Like, is it as soon as release comes in?
Generally, yeah. Because when it comes to live adaptations, unless I'm wrong, it's all the episodes one time.
Yeah,
so
one shot.
Right. So all of the fans watch it, and it's just like, what is this generally? And Netflix is known for blowing the bag. Like, they have an endless budget, and it seems like the live adaptations have just been like trash, which is crazy because it's not. I don't think it's Netflix. I think it's the directors and what they decide to do with it.
I think they enjoy. There's so much fans they want to get every little bit got or in the shot or at least mentioned or brought in. I feel it's kind of like. Basically, well, you can't see it, but I got a whole rack full of Star Wars figures. I'm like, this is what I like. It's all here. But I want to put it on a TV show. Wham! It's got to be like little crumbs. You got to get a little sauce here and there. Not the whole freaking smashed burger in your face. Just a little bite. You just want to have a little.
Smashed burger is what makes it. I mean, like Death Note.
Sometimes it's good.
Sometimes see, what he's saying is that you got to be like that super mega conglomerate company with that Plus service that they got, and how they do that one franchise where they got Jon Favreau in charge of it and Dave Filoni, and they're killing it. Like, granted, there was one that everyone thinks fell a little flat. I still enjoyed it. I don't care, but they've done no wrong. Even taking it back to Netflix, I enjoyed Bebop. I enjoyed it. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a Bebop fan. I've got the entire run of Bebop. I've got Bebop the movie. I've watched Bebop backwards, forwards, English, Japanese. I enjoyed it. So I enjoyed it for what it was. I went in there not expecting it to be a 1-to-1 copy of the anime or the manga, and
that's what I was going for. Yes.
And that's what I got. I got a similar stories. Like, hey, if this story was live action, how would you handle it?
You guys are lying in front of Mark, and I am
Oh
opposed.
my God!
Mark, why would you do that? It wasn't that great. As also a fan of the one thing I will definitely say they tried to stay true was the music of the
Music was
show.
on par.
So for those that don't know, Cowboy Bebop definitely infused a lot of, I would say, Afro jazz, modern Afro jazz, and it was amazing. Even the episodes to an extent are like ballads. You know what I'm saying? So it was
Hmm.
amazing. So, but aside from that, that chemistry, that you don't know what was lost, and I don't know why. The fact that Ness only watched one episode
I
says
did.
it
I
all.
did. I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I mean, I'm talking about Bebop. I didn't see it. Never mind.
It's like
It's your fault. They canceled it, man. You only watched one episode, and
Right.
now it's canceled. So there you go.
Thank
They're
you
like,
for
oh,
pointing
that
that
guy
out.
fell off when he watched
My
it. We
fault.
watched one episode. We're done. Cut it.
Yep. Like, this
I'm gonna
guy's a
watch
super
it.
fan, and he only watched one episode.
They watch you specifically. Yep. Apparently I need a 3-minute mic penalty. You know what?
Ooh.
You're right. I'm gonna mute myself, but I'm gonna ask Reggie, what was your Toonami favorite?
Actually, mine is going to be one that people might not know about. It's one called Outlaw Star. Actually, no, I can't say that because it's a toss-up between Outlaw Star and one of my all-time favorites, Samurai Champloo. Because Samurai Champloo was that show. It was the show, and I enjoyed it because it's reminiscent of Bebop, but it's set in the. Oh, okay, all right, yeah,
Mark, you seem like you recognize Samurai Champloo, right?
I did. I did watch some of that. Yeah.
Can we just say that it started off good and then it just kind of like flatlined a little bit? And it had some great episodes.
Yeah, I can't say that. I couldn't say I watched enough of it to say that. I mean, I liked the few episodes I saw. So I'll plead the fifth on that one.
Ooh, see, look at
I
that.
didn't see enough. I don't have enough
Look,
information.
You can't
To,
come in here talking about my stuff, sir. Wasn't you on a mic mute? Wasn't you on a mic mute? I'm just saying. I'm talking about my show, and here you come.
I think it's still on. He must have forgot.
I guess. Oh, now it's on. Yeah, now it's on.
Oh.
Yeah. But
There it goes.
coming in here, he's like, oh, it started off good. Then it didn't. Just that little slide in there. But yes, that was my jam. Champloo was my jam. Granted, yeah, you got to remember it was a story about all three of them, so everyone needed their arc to come to completion. And granted, hers it wasn't the greatest, but it needed to become to complete. Look, stop, sir, stop. So rude. Oh, now he's gonna run away. Now he ran away. Now he ran away. Welcome back, Super. Yeah, that's my one for Toonami. Samurai Champloo, like the music, dude. I can do a show about the artist that did the music for the show Nujabes. I runs with Nujabes. Rest in peace. But yeah, I runs with Nujabes.
Ooh, I will say Ghost in the Shell was really dope. Ghost in the Shell was. I don't know if I agree with the movie. It has nothing to do with the actress Scarlett Johansson. The movie. I don't know. It just felt like they tried to do too much. Maybe when they get the formula down, they could do Akira. But if I were to add my favorite Toonami show was the Spirit Detective Yu Yu Hakusho. The first 2 seasons, and I got mad because as I watched it again, I realized Yusuke was a punk in the Dark Tournament. But we'll get to that. I don't understand why, but whatever. But the third season, but it was still a great show, great animation that I hope to pass down to my daughter, who was going Goku not too long ago. But it would be amazing to see what she likes. You know, things have changed so much. And I'm really looking forward to having this conversation again 5 years from now. Because then when we talk about Toonami, Nickelodeon, and other animes, we'll just be like, wow, like things have changed. Because it's definitely going to change.
You watched hand-drawn shows? What's that about?
Yes, I do. And I'm going to continue to watch them. Because I've literally watched the evolution of the cartoons and, from the 30-minute commercials coming all the way up to the actual character shows. And it's just the fact that they actually have good storylines and they have overarching stories and these stories that draw you in, and it's not just here's an episode, things happen, everything resolved in half an hour. Here's an episode, everything resolved in half an hour. Now it's like, dude, we've got this planned out for like 5 seasons, so you better buckle in because we're rolling down this train track, and you better just jump on board.
Are we in the West? Are we the Midwestern and the cargoes, or is it like the cargo train? You know what? You're right.
I mean, that was Bebop.
Colorado, Square State. Love my square. Leave it alone.
All right. I'm out of here. I'm leaving you guys.
Okay. Well, everyone, that was our show. This was 4-Letter Nerd. It was presented by Kill the Sun Comics. You got myself, Ra Sun God, your host for the day. Thank you for watching our show. We got my man, Mayhem Mike, down at the bottom.
The hater, apparently.
Wait. Oh, there he is. Ness is over there. Yeah, Ness is over there. We got our special guest today, Mr. Mark Fenton.
Hey.
Once again, can you please tell us the Insta and the Twitter we can find you at, so that way we can support?
For sure. So Instagram is Big Smooth, BIGSMOOVE, not to be confused with OTH 39, and then Twitter is Big Smooth 40. And you can find me like on Facebook. I didn't split it between like private, whatever. So, I generally will accept friend requests as long as it's, you're not like someone's going to stalk my kids or anything like that. But I do post, family stuff like that. So don't be surprised if you see pictures of a 6-year-old and then pictures of art that David just sent me. And then you can go to markfenton.net as well and see like what we're working on. We try to put up some stuff. I know David's going to be sending Kill the Sun some stuff, some new images and stuff like that to show. So
yes, we're
excited.
We'll definitely be putting that out on our Instagram profile so everybody can see and know where to go to support.
Sweet.
Yes. Thanks for having us, Mark. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, sir. Thank
All
you.
right.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been 4-Letter Nerd. This is your weekly geekly show hosted by us 3 miscreants plus our 4th, who is currently unavailable today, but we still love her all the same, and we love all you, and we appreciate you all for watching. But thank you all for joining us, and we're out of here.